Welcome back. Thank you once again for hanging out with us. This is the one and only IT in the D Show, and I'm your host, Bob Waltenspiel, sitting alongside the legend himself, Randy Walker, engineer, producer, co-host extraordinaire. Guest this week, speaking of legends, Jer Staes is in the house. You might know him from Daily Detroit. You might see him around town at various bars and DCFC games, but he's sitting here in studio with us. We'd like to appreciate his time. You can find us online at itinthed.com. Do us a favor, give us a like on the socials, subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Our meetup at Bar Louie was fantastic. There were a lot of new people.
10 out of 10.
It was great. So I'm hoping that we keep this momentum when we swing back here to Detroit Shipping Company on the 19th of June.
APB out to the recruiters. All we had was blue chip there, and there was a ton of people that are looking for work. The market needs you. Get your butt to one of our events. I need to put that out publicly on LinkedIn, but I'd love to see some more recruiters at our shop, at our events. So
yeah, they go in cycles, in waves.
Indeed.
And it's the worst when the recruiter wave and the job seeker wave don't line up.
There's always, it's historically always been like that. That's why we did there was always like more people looking than recruiters. That's when we did the pink slip parties. I know we keep talking about it, but it might be time to do one here.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, meetup.com/IT in the D. No speakers, no cover, just a bunch of IT folks hanging out. Again, a lot of new people. Appreciate it. Everybody was really cool too. Jer, it's always good to see you in person.
It's good to see you too. The studio is beautiful. By the way, I believe that Randy's actual first name is now Engineer. So I just refer to him as Engineer Randy in all context everywhere. I might even just yell Engineer across the bar next time.
I don't want to change it. I went producer, co-host extraordinaire. That's always been that's kind of the moniker today. I don't know why I lost my train, but that's what we've been calling him. I'm not changing it.
You're fine.
He can be your producer, co-host extraordinaire. He's my engineer. He's always going to be an engineer in my heart.
Hey, we're the ones that left the bowl of milk out first. And then Randy showed up and he never left. And now he's a permanent fixture in all our families and lives. And we wouldn't change a thing for the world.
No, we wouldn't. He's always welcome at every single one of my family gatherings. And by the way, I'm sure that if you wanted Randy at your family gathering, you could make that happen. He's a very good bartender.
I've been at his family gatherings too.
Yeah. You're an I've had so many people tell me how good of a bartender you are. One day you should do a pop-up.
I'm thinking about it, actually.
Let's make that happen, like for real. Multiple people have said that would be something that you should do. I think the Randy experience.
See, my problem is my family. It's either PBR or German beer, and it's vodka for the Polish side. And that's all. And there's no mixed drinks. There's no cocktails. So like, I think Randy's kind of like it put in a bad spot.
So my cousin, before she was in corporate sales, was a show bartender. So she's got all the stuff at her house.
Oh,
end to end, custom bar, every ingredient you could ever want. Like your little the app that you bring out at some bars, you just be able to do whatever you want out in Northville.
I also have the bar at Carbon available to me.
You know, the problem is though, Randy needs like cucumber bitters and like herbal salts and like periwinkle juice. I don't know what that is. I'm just trying to make up something like that's Randy at a dive bar. He's the guy that will ask for like a papaya daiquiri at like a Hamtramck dive bar.
You know, he did that, and I was witness one time where he was almost kicked out. Because it was a high volume night.
Is that at Marshall's?
No.
Oh, that story's legendary.
This one.
I think I was with you that time.
This one was at Whiskey in the Jar.
Oh, boy.
And bartender Katie almost booted him out. We had to like sign for him that he wouldn't order more than 2 ingredient drinks the rest of the night.
Bartender Katie only likes when he's with me because she knows I tip like 50% on my tabs. So she'll pull it up with it because she knows. But Jared, it's good to see you, man. This is probably your 42nd appearance on the show.
We should go back and count sometime.
And I have yet to be on your show. I'm not.
I run the episodes in our feed, but you need to come by Tech Town. Come by the studio.
I'm in.
From whence it all came. I'm glad to be back in the mothership, though.
This is looks a little different. I like getting here now. We got the lights. We got the little signs.
I like the color scheme better.
It's clean.
Yeah. It's really nice. The custom sign really, as you know, I love a good custom sign.
I'll tell you the trick to the custom sign. So the logo, $5, $70, you know how it goes. Mm-hmm. I said I want it to look like a yacht club, but for podcasting. So of course they make a podcasting logo with an anchor, and I'm like, no. Please put a microphone in there. And all of a sudden I look online for one of those like Orant neon. It's like those like Instagram reels you see, and you're like, that's got to be bullshit. There's no way. And I said, well, I wonder what this thing would look like. And it's a 4-foot circle neon sign. And I get a quote back $750. And it's way, like, I did not know what it was going to be. It could have been 100. It could have been $3,000, and I wouldn't have been surprised. I'm like, 750. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Week and a half goes by. She goes, if you buy within the next 4 days, it'll be, what was it, $410 or something. I'm like, here's my card.
They got you.
And it showed up in like 2 weeks, Jer. And I was expecting the worst. And it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Although I remember when you first installed it, it was very, very bright. Randy had it turned all the way up.
We didn't know the little buttons.
And I believe that you could have replicated the sun of podcasting.
Oh, yeah.
Just you could have a grow operation in here if you wanted. There was so much.
We were so thankful when we could the bright down button was found, because I didn't hate it, because we wanted it to be seen from outside the window here at the Shipco, and you know, like what's going on in there. And it did its trick, but like for when you're sitting here though, you're like, I'm getting sunburn on my, you know.
So this strikes me as the kind of yacht club though that plays yacht rock.
I want to open a bar with just canned drinks like the High Noon and Pabst, and two frozen little slushy machines, just playing yacht rock. No Jimmy Buffett, because that I will go to the death that Jimmy Buffett is not yacht rock. It's trash. Yeah, I did. You heard me. And bought little boxed lunches, little like airplane boxed lunches, and that's it.
Ooh.
And you make like the mahogany tables with the 4 cup holders in the corners, and really small. Like I wanted to buy Salty Dog just for that.
You know, it already comes in the shape of a ship.
It does.
For those who don't know, Salty Dog is I'll call it interesting bar. Landmark in Madison Heights. And if you've gone, you know you've gone, because you can't mistake it on the inside. And I'll just leave it at that. But the outside looks like a ship, and you cannot miss it. I think it's on John R.
So there's a long story to this. The bartenders they were female, and they would wear a white dress shirt with a belt around the waist, like a men's dress shirt, no pants and no bra. And like, I remember going there with my friend Joe when I was just fresh 21. I was driving my Mustang, and we went in there and had a beer. And we only had a beer. And as I walked, my car was broken into as I walked out. And I was like, I'm never going back. And then lo and behold, in my 40s, we were going there, because this was around the corner from the old studio. Like we were going there once a week, until my buddy got knocked out and almost died. I haven't been back since. We were.
I feel like changing it to a yacht rock bar would be an improvement.
Well, when that happened, so like we went it was after a bachelor party at the Hazel Park racetrack. You know, rest in peace. And we went to Salty Dog, and he's doing a magic trick, because that's what he does, because he's a magician. And a guy because it was 2 girls were taking the attention away, and like knocked him out. So I go, I want to buy Salty Dog and change it to a yacht rock bar. There goes story time when you bring up yacht rock. See what happens. Speaking of bars, you've been finding some interesting bars. Been following you on all the grams, all the Instas.
Yeah, Graham has been the thing lately for us.
Yeah. And there's an Aperol Spritz bar. Mm-hmm. So they had all this. It's funny because we had brunch there for my daughter's birthday, and there was Aperol Spritz signs everywhere. And then find out San Morello is literally opening up a bar dedicated to the drink.
Yeah, they work with the brand, I believe.
Okay.
You know, so they get a bunch of stuff that's orange and all tied together. And it's an outpost of San Morello. So they hold the liquor license. Okay. It's not like an Aperol. It's like the Aperol bar at San Morello.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go up there. It's just gorgeous. With the pop of color is great on Woodward. And you sit on Woodward nowadays, and it's a completely different experience than 10 years ago. It's wild. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so many people were so happy with it. And if you've never had an Aperol Spritz, I mean, it's kind of like orangey and not super sweet, but really good, really refreshing. And they had great service. It was just a really fun concept I think a lot of people are going to like. And what I'm finding is that people, when they go out nowadays, you know, things have changed a lot since the pandemic as far as going out. When they go out, they really want an experience, like just just having a beer isn't enough unless you're at one of the I would say well-decorated dive bars where that is the experience. It's interesting to see that really in order for places to succeed, they've really had to step it up lately. And that's one example.
My daughter had a couple friends over there. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to Chili's. And I'm like, hold the record. This is a 20-year-old girl and you're choosing to go to Chili's. And we started talking about a couple weeks ago, we had someone on talking about customer data and all that. And we were talking about how was it Chili's or kind of changed the whole company around from that mozzarella pull on Instagram. And they were going down there, we're going to die as a company. And now it's attracting 20-year-old girls because of the damn Instagram and the mozzarella pull. They just go there for that. The triple dipper. And then they take a video of it and then they post it on their Snapchats and their grams. And
Red Lobster's been making a real comeback. They've got a new CEO.
Are they?
They've got a new CEO.
I heard it was going under because the PE firm.
No, there's like a new CEO in there that's trying to like liven up the sales and whatever and try to like turn the ship around a little bit. It's interesting to see how much impact Instagram specifically can have, and not to like slag other social media, but it's really been shown as far as going out. The people who go on Instagram are people who are interested in going to those things. So I was hearing on another podcast, I can't remember which one, I'm sorry, but it was one with economists because that's the kind of nerdy stuff I listen to. Really, no one copy what I do. But it was economists talking about how Instagram influencers and stuff would actually not like really boost tourism destinations. If something was hot on Instagram, you got the right influencers out.
Yeah.
You could bring out millions of dollars more, far more effective than TV advertising, Instagram, podcasts, that kind of thing. Just so much more effective because people, as Kendrick Lamar said, have turned the TV off.
They have. Look at the guy, I don't even know what his Instagram title is, but I follow him, and it's the Asian guy that eats sandwiches. And the effect that he has on these businesses. And it's like, well, why is that guy
Keith
big?
Lee? No.
Shout out Detroit.
Shout out Detroit.
Shout out, yeah. And he's a likable human being, and the reviews are not contrived. And we went to RJ's on 14 and Gratiot. Everybody talks about it's the best corned beef in Macomb. And I went there with my buddy, and I'll be damned. And the guy treated us like gold because it's like new guys, they could be Instagram people, And he was like way over the top cool with us. And thank God they did have it's in the conversation for top 3 corned beefs in Detroit. I called it out.
Okay.
But it's like, it's in this weird hole in the wall strip mall, 14 and Gratiot, I was on that side of town. Like, oh my God, we got to stop at this place. I'm seeing all these Instagram posts. But it is funny. I go to restaurants, like there's a few that are in, can I call them out? That are Instagram restaurants.
Oh, for sure.
The experience is lackluster.
And it's all for the gram. And I don't really like those, to be fair.
What is it called, Randy? Mad Nice?
Mad Nice.
I had a really good salad there once.
What is it, $42? Like
I was on a date, so it doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter if you're on a date. I was there with some business peeps before this show, and they invited me there. And it was ridiculous how expensive it was. And I go, oh my God, this is like a girl posting on Instagram restaurant. You made it for that.
The photos were great though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Looks like $1 million.
The color coordination, everything else. You know what I like the most about Mad Nice? And I know engineer Randy wouldn't care because you don't drink coffee, but their coffee shop's actually really cool. The coffee shop, yeah. Okay. There's a coffee shop on the side. That is the hidden gem. And I don't like to overuse the term hidden gem, but I know that's what people actually search for.
But you'll drive by that place 3,000 times. It is kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't why would you stop there unless you saw them? Like that's the thing with these places. Like you don't know it exists until you see it online.
Well, and the coffee shop's beautiful, quick service, lots of really cool figurines, like art figurines and stuff like that. I know this, fellow geeks in the room will appreciate it, like Cause and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So really cool, a little bit of a twist on it, and they did a really nice job. I actually went to a mixer there that was really good, a morning mixer.
Okay.
I know the IT and the D crowd likes to do the happy hours, but I work on both sides of the sunset and sunrise.
There's no LBN meetings for this group anytime soon. We did hit London Shop. I haven't been there in like 10 years. How'd you
feel about it?
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
It really holds up, doesn't it?
Here's the thing with me, and we were talking about this, and I'll get into this again. The storytelling when he was saying like, hey, we got the strip, we got this steak, we got that steak, but we have the Australian Wagyu. Thank you. And it was Japanese lineage. They took two bulls and like 10 cows. Is that a cow? What's the female cow? Cow. Thank you. And they took them to Australia and they got it up to like 500. And now they're like making it available to market. And it's this whole, like, they take care of them the same way in Japanese. And I go, you had me. Like you had the eyes. He's talking about this thing. I go, I don't care if that was a $200 steak. I'm ordering it. And it was melt in your mouth. It was the experience was 20 out of 20.
And so people know the London Chop, also known as the Chop House by a lot of people. I used to go there when I worked in corporate back in the day when I used to myself work in corporate IT staffing at one point. And everybody loved it. The office was across the street.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it.
Great.
If you've never gone to the London Chop House, you need to go. It is tucked in the financial district of downtown Detroit.
Yeah.
So unless you've worked at one of the companies down there, you might not know it's there. It's got amazing historic Detroit
You can
artifacts.
we parked in front of base and walked.
You could park in front of it. They also do a really good valet.
Okay, so well, I work at that building in Basis, so that's why I'm like, oh, this is my spot. I park at work, so I wanted something I knew. But the one thing I was mad at them about, I'm calling them out, is last time I went, which is probably 15 years ago, they had the bull shot on the drink menu. And if you're not familiar with the shot or the term, it's from the movie Caddyshack when Rodney walks up to the bar and he goes, hey, Sabu, can you make a bull shot? And he goes, can you make a shoe smell? Well, me and my wife are at dinner there and I see bull shot on there and I go, wait, whoa. I bring the waiter over. I go, what is this? Like, this is, and he goes, Caddyshack. And I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah, Rodney came in. This is our drink. Rodney came in here after 8 here and he tried it and he ad-libbed it in Caddyshack. Can't live it down. And if you don't know what it is, it's French dip au jus, like what you dip your sandwich in, and vodka half and half. It's a shot. And I went there and I looked at the drink menu. There's no bullshit. He goes, he kind of rolled his eyes. He goes, we'll make it for you, but it's not on the menu anymore. I'm like, blasphemy. That was like, how many people walk in there reciting Caddyshack other than 50-year-old, idiots, savants, but.
But I also feel that could be a key part of their clientele.
You know what? Looking around, there was a lot of like, trying to figure out what people do. Like, that's my thing now. We went to Zuzu, which was awesome, by the way.
Oh, you liked Experience Zuzu. Okay.
I went with 12 people for work.
Okay.
And we ordered one of everything and kind of shared plates. And I thought the food was fantastic. Everything was really good. They were out of some kind of fish because the truck didn't show up that day. Made us like 2 other dishes. And they were like, again, it's those like the story. And the chef was all like apologetic. He's telling us a story and he brings us out and he goes, this I made special for you guys in his eyes. You know what I mean? Like, like storytelling. Like, that's my big thing now is like, I taught a class at work on storytelling. Like, I think we miss that. I went to Marcus Burgers with my daughter. I've never been. Are you familiar with their work?
Oh, I familiar with their work?
I never heard of it until I saw one of those Chow Down guys, not Chow Down, but somebody else was there. And he goes, save these places.
Okay. So you want some Detroit stuff. Last time I went to Marcus Burger, it was before the pandemic. Actually, the second to last time that I went. And it was right after I had actually held pieces of the RoboCop statue because the artist studio, I won't say where, but the artist studio is near there.
Oh my God.
So I was holding RoboCop parts and then I went to Marcus.
So if you don't know what Marcus Burger is, it's picture a meatloaf and you cut it into like rectangles that fits on like a hot dog bun. And it's a burger and it's sitting in like a puddle of water on a grill. And it's steamed, and then they put a piece of cheese on it, and they put it on a hot dog bun, and they give you little bowls of like mustard and relish and onions.
It looks like you just broke Randy.
You're not really selling it well.
Well, here's the thing. It worked.
Doesn't sound appealing.
It worked. It didn't look good. It looked like the whole, that was kind of the point, the whole process. And then you take a bite and you go, holy shit, that's really good. And this shouldn't work, but it's fantastic. The Coney was like a really unique chili sweet, and then we started talking to the guy, and he's 3rd generation. The family's been there since the 30s. And he starts talking about the old stories when the trolley was on 6 Mile or the train and it would turn around right here and people would get off. And then he starts talking about how he grinds his own meat and this is the process. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, let me give you a little bit of the meatloaf. Let me give you a little bit of the meatloaf. It's so good. It's just this. And I just make it like cook it all day. And he's getting all fired up and he's got those big eyes. And you could tell like he was so proud of it. And I'm like, that's the thing we need. Like, that's more of it. Like I kind of gave 3 examples, but like people that get super pumped up and proud of what they do. Oh my God, I will go there all day. The guy RJ on 14 Aggression, all over. Hey man, I hope you like the sandwich. And I'm RJ. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You're on the sign. I was being funny, obviously, but it's like very few, like these days, it's very hard to find people that are like that passionate about what they do.
It makes me think of when you're talking about really good sandwiches. It reminds me of Ernie's in Oak Park.
That's the way you go. You don't go there for the sandwich.
No, you go there for the love spice.
Sandwich is really good. Ernie makes it a phenomenal sandwich. And who loves you, baby? You know, gives you you want a kiss and gives you a Hershey kiss. I mean, that experience alone deserves a line out the door.
Well, you know, in a world where you can Uber Eats and DoorDash everything.
Yeah.
If you're going to go out, like you take it to the next level. Now, I like to add friction in my life. I don't really like to order food in. I'm just not that person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because oftentimes I'm going to get it faster if I just go myself, but I just like to go out and see the streets and be with people and whatever, because I don't know, maybe I'm different, but everything that's happened in the last few years, I'm like, more people, please. I like to get back to peopling.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
I never forgot it. I need people. Like I go in the office when everybody else is like, why are you here? And I'm like, when I sit in my basement, look at Teams all day. Like I was not built for that. Like, you know.
Yeah. And so much is convenience now, not just food, but there's just so much in life that can just appear. And I think it takes away from things a little bit. Maybe I am a hipster.
I canceled Grubhub for what it's worth. I canceled Instacart for what it's worth. Not to save a buck, but I like going, well, here's the thing too. I was all cropped up. I couldn't walk for 3 years, like into a grocery store. So now like it's new to me. So you know what I'm saying? Is it's a little bit different, but like I try to bring stuff out in people and I don't want to say it's hard too, but like, that's why I always like, how you doing? I'm like, oh my God, I've never been better in all my life. And people are like, oh my God, that's a great answer. Cause everybody's like, fine.
Good.
Everybody's, I'm okay. Like, man, just a little bit of energy. Like, you know, like give me those eyes. Tell me what, like Canal, 10 out of 10 experience there. And I didn't even order them. My doctor hates me, so I'm not eating like the stuff that Canal sells. But I had a black coffee. I had an Americano. And, oh my God, that counter, I sent to like 10 people. I'm like, you got to see this. I want to eat everything.
Which one of them were you at last?
The one on by Washington.
Okay.
Across from the breakfast sandwich place that I couldn't eat either.
In Capitol Park down there.
Yes.
Which is going to be beautiful very soon. That rehab of Capitol Park, the redesign that they're doing. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed all the fencing.
There's a lot of everything going on.
It is going to be gorgeous. I've seen the renderings. I've peeked my head in. Oh, you know, it's going to be so good. So good. People are gonna love it.
These days, it's is it construction or is it the Grand Prix? I think that's the game.
Oh,
we're all
geez.
playing. Everything.
If it's Jefferson or South or Jefferson to the river, it's Grand Prix. If it's Jefferson or North, it's construction. Because Jefferson, that loop now goes straight down Jefferson. My one of my co-hosts, Norris, lives right on the Grand Prix route. And it was so funny because I was filling out his like stuff for his media credentials. And he was like, do you need this, and this? And I'm like, no, he's just going to be literally like wandering back to his house.
Yeah. And that's, I usually take Jefferson to Randolph to my office. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I got to find a new way in the office. Because this way is not cut next. It goes down to one lane on, and it's, I'm not complaining, and then there's cops on every street going to the office and leaving because everything's, Cadillac.
So much money to the city. It's so good.
I'll be there Friday the 30th.
Okay. Good.
I weaseled my way into a CIO networking group. Don't tell anybody that it's just me. But I got an invite for it. So
well, you could be the chief information officer of the Detroit podcast company.
I am not. No false titles. I am nothing. That's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to somebody today that was talking about, I didn't know Slate HQ'd here.
Yeah, actually, I have an interview coming with them.
Well,
I don't know all the details, but we're working on the interview for the show because I'm really excited about this.
So this is the story, though. A buddy of mine, he says like the person he's talking to, he's like, they're just like manufacturing lead, but they're actually the CIO. Like they give like these flat nondescript titles. And I'm just like, I go, I guess it doesn't matter what your title is, but if you're looking, you want to like get out there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it sends a message. Some organizations that I've covered and that I've worked with, titles really matter. Like I've worked places where where my boss will be like, look, I know you don't care about the title, but you're going to this and this branch.
Yeah.
You need this title. And it does matter some places because I would go to that city when I traveled for corporate work and I didn't realize like, I'm doing my job. I'm not the kind of guy. I'm a servant leader kind of person. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, if I tell someone to scrub a toilet, I am more than willing to scrub it myself too.
Yeah.
I'll do any work.
Oh yeah.
So titles are not a huge thing for me, but I got to understand the value to a lot of people. They need that hierarchy. So I would go to another place and I had this title that was very close to a branch manager. So normally a branch manager would be at a city. Sure. Mine was of communications. But having that title, it was like, there would be people who would be like, yes, sir. And I'm like, wait, what? Like I tweet for a living. Like, I don't know. Like
I worked for the Japanese and I ran sales for North America. It could have been sales manager, sales director, VP of sales. I've seen all the titles for that job. I had one direct report, which it was just an admin. It wasn't a report. You know what I mean? It's someone that helped me with my stuff. Anyway, my title was assistant sales manager. And I looked at my boss and I said, we got to do something about this because anybody in the States that sees this, they're going to like think I work at Wendy's. And he didn't change it. But then I go to Tokyo and I meet peers and colleagues and they take, the culture of how they do business cards in Tokyo with two thumbs and they look down at you and then they look up at you and they go, oh, and they're like impressed. Like, you know what I mean? Like I go, I thought they were going to laugh, assistant sales manager, but they were more impressed that I worked for this company than my title didn't care. Like, oh, I'm part of this company. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Very, very different culture from how we do things here.
Well, and I think the message that kind of sells with the more flat kind of organizational title like that is, a difference in culture, right? Because so much of automotive is kind of like, okay, well, you got the factory guys and then you got, the white collar guys and the suits, and it's very rigid. In fact, even I think that rigidity is something that's actually been hurting Metro Detroit a bit because so often we just stuff everything into that automotive mindset that we're just so used to, with the unions and you report to your steward and you do this. Not saying that all those things are bad, but like it's that rigidity. And in order to succeed in the future economy, we need to be able, and the current economy, frankly, you need to be able to be flexible. And I think that says a message about Slate that their vehicles are very different. And the thing is about Slate, I feel like it's a moonshot. It's either going to work and it's going to change everything with cars, or it's going to not, very much not. And I don't know what that answer is, but I love, and I haven't had the interview yet, and I don't know how I'm feeling on which way it will happen, but I love that they're taking the shot.
My take, so this was always my thing, and it's that if I was to start, how you have bar conversations, and we've started every company that's ever been here, but we just didn't do it. We started YouTube. We, everybody, oh, I had that idea first, oh yeah, but we never did anything. So we always talked about that one car company that could use a single chassis that would give you a sedan, pickup, Jeep, SUV, and like with all the, like you can put your add-ons on it. And to me, this is kind of what they've been asking, and they need to do this right. And they're going to, I haven't thought it enough to think it through, but like it's a dongle company right now. Like, oh, you want a steering wheel? That's $800. Oh, you want, you know what I mean? So there's, oh, you want to listen to radio? No radio in it. You just put on your phone. Like Bluetooth.
But so many people just use their phone anyway.
They do use their phone anyway. But like I'm not concerned at all, but it's how they market it is because the product I think is going to be a slam dunk. It's going to be fine.
So the question,
but it's how it's marketed.
It's how it's marketed, and how long term do these add-ons do well? So for instance, and I think about this, excuse me, like with gaming, you can just make add-ons for your character. I think some of that is the same idea with this. The question is going to
microtransactions,
right? The question is going to be, okay, I get this car.
Can you clip that, Randy?
I get this car 3 years from now. let's say I want to turn it in. Let's say I get the pickup truck. And let's say 3 years from now, I want to turn it into an SUV. Does it still work? Does that transition happen? Or I want to add the radio or whatever. All these like nodule points.
Yeah.
That's when I'm thinking about, okay, if you're going to build an extensible platform,
Right.
I want to make sure that as I get more money and I'm like, oh, cool, I ran into $800 for the fancy steering wheel that I always wanted. I don't really give, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it works. If they can pull that off, that's going to change everything because you eliminate all the upsell that many like car companies and dealers do where it's like, well, you're going to regret it if you don't get the soda to so da, right? And get you in that big payment right off the bat because young people and just frankly, people in general are frustrated with the automotive industry right now in a huge way. I hear it in my comments. I hear it from people who are like, look, I don't want to spend 60 grand on my first car.
It's a lot.
I mean, 50 or whatever.
I don't want to spend 60 grand on my, what is this, 8th car?
Fair.
Yeah.
But if you can get people to add on over time, maybe you'll get people to spend more than they would have anyway.
Share my take. This is going to be the life or death of this company. Everything's about residual value and resale value. Obviously, everybody knows cars aren't assets, but when you lease it, car's an asset to the owning company. And if you customize it if you allow too much customization.
But can you unwind the customization?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, so if you could
if you
add
make
something,
it,
can you take it out?
If you make it pink or all of a sudden I like duck. Right. But then you got to peel the wrap. There's a cost to like, I'm into ducks, the stupid Jeep thing. Oh my God. But like it's yellow, duck yellow, and you make everything inside's a duck. You can't get rid of that. And they make it so customizable. It's going to be like Call of Duty where like, I just want a goddamn army guy and you got me fighting all these like rainbow people and like it turned into Fortnite. I'm just bitching because I just got back into Call of Duty. But what I'm saying is when you over customize it, like it'll destroy the residual and resale value.
Well, the question, but to me then, can you turn back customizations? Is there a kit you could buy to like base it out? Right? Like there's different answers to this question where it's like, oh, if I'm going to resell it, is there an option to factory reset it? And you say, hey, you know what? Go take this thing. Or will they buy it back and reset it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Either.
But I think that there are ways to do it where it's like, oh, okay, well, because there's going to eventually have to be version 2 platforms, right? Right? Yeah. There's going to have to be.
Well, I think
so. Like you sell your version 1 into a version 2, and then they sell off the version 1 for 10 grand less for somebody. You could revolutionize. I'm looking at the positive case here.
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from because you overdo it. It's like when you're trying to sell a house that has, all pink walls inside or something,
It's like, again, I'm a fan. I'm hoping for the best.
It's all in execution. You're right. It's all in execution.
And that's the thing. I drive a black VW. When I sell it, it's a black VW, right? And now here becomes this beast. The simplicity is great. I think people like just to give an option of a simple car, but like when they say 20, I think they made a mistake when they said that it's going to be a $20,000 car, but that's with a $7,000 like government tax thing. It's not. It's 27. So just say it's 27. Don't do this like federal rebate stuff unless it's cash in my pocket.
I feel like I feel like that's so common in the electric market though. Like Tesla does it.
Do they really?
Yeah. Oh. And when you're buying an electric car, Tesla, all of them, they do that. I realized that too when I did a review. I did some review time with the Mustang Mach-E and the Ford F-150 Lightning.
Sure.
Two very different experiences with those cars. For me, they're both good vehicles. But for me, I was like, the Mach-E makes sense. The Lightning, I'm not sure it was fun to drive, but I was like, who is this for?
Right.
Right? Because you need, like when you buy something like an F-150, you're thinking you're going to put a fifth wheel on it, something like that. And with an electric powertrain, you're just going to burn, that powertrain really fast. I wasn't sure, but the Mach-E, I adored. It was one of the funnest cars I've ever driven.
Here's the thing though, like speaking of Ford, I mean, Slate's going to afford themselves Amazon employees. There's 150,000 of them. And Amazon delivery trucks, there's how many millions of them? They're going to eat their own dog food and they're going to be a successful company. It's just a matter of how far this thing gets out as a brand
And if people start reselling and doing things like one of the lessons we learned from StockX, right? The resale market of shoes, making it easier, having a standardized like market for, okay, you just go here and find out what your shoes are. So in this duck example, okay, let's say somebody's got duck head rests and like some duck accessories, right? Is there a market to go on Slate X or whatever and be like, okay, well, I'm going to sell my duck stuff to another duck lover, right? Like that's another way. And then you make a percentage on the transaction. Now you're thinking about all different ways you're making money. The traditional automakers aren't. Traditional automakers keep trying to go for subscriptions.
Right.
Remember the subscription heated seat trial for a little bit. Other companies are trying to do this in various ways. I don't think the public's going to like that. I think this is far more interesting to me, where it's like, oh, well, for this aforementioned duck, like, oh, I have the duck roll bar. Maybe I can sell the duck roll bar to somebody in Sedona.
Well, think about this though. If it's like you call it I'm calling it the iPhone of cars. And how many companies have been birthed from making accessories for the iPhone? So if they could make it on like I want to say it's kind of ubiquitous where now you have accessory companies and people are able to customize it. That's like pop on, pop off. Oh my God. You just opened up another 1,000 companies that will sell to those. You know what I mean? But pending there's enough of them on the road.
You and I both know and have family that had garages and tinkered with stuff and Mopar and all those things. This is a time immemorial, bringing it back, I think, in a way. And if it is extensible, where if you're a third party, I understand for safety reasons, there might be certain things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But for third party stuff to do it, one of the things that really impressed me on the Ford side, I don't mean to bring up Ford again.
That's fine.
But their Maverick line and a few others, they actually now release guides for 3D printing. So you can 3D print various parts and accessories of your car to the guidelines, and they'll actually send you the files and everything. And then you can design whatever you want to print in cup holders, doors, all kinds of stuff.
Love that.
And I think that is brilliant. And the more automakers that do that, because that's the future. There's always going to be some people who want everything turnkey, Land Rover, Cadillac Lyric, high end. But when you're talking about getting people excited about your car brand, I think about back in the day in the 2000s, what was it? Was it the Subaru? I'm trying to remember, or the Toyotas, like really, or was it VW? I can't remember. It was a while ago. But like people who get a certain brand of car and they all go to meets together and they like swap parts and how do you fix the brakes and whatever. I think that stuff's awesome. And the more ways that we can not only bring that back, but make it more mainstream, because I know it's still out there a bit, but make it mainstream where it's like, oh, cool. Well, I came up with this cool accessory for my Slate and I want to trade it with you or whatever. That's awesome.
I think they got to get out of the mindset. And I know Bill Ford Jr. and Mary Barra listens to the show, so this one's going out to you. These companies are not, I'm funny. Randy looks at me like, are you serious? I'm like, no, of course not. They called themselves software companies one too many times for my liking. These are transportation companies. These are not software companies. The cars are being built with software now as a major component of how it's diagnosed. I was going to say diagnosed, and the entertainment and infotainment and microtransactions. That's great. It's a transportation company. Like there's a lot going on right now in the industry with like the Cupertino folks coming in en masse. It's not a bad thing because
I know General Motors is doing a bunch of their stuff on the West Coast.
They are doing
their development.
GM's doing Austin too. There's big IT, a lot of ITs in Austin right now.
But I want to ask you a follow-up then, because that makes me think of this overall conversation, especially in IT. Every single company that I see has some sort of quote unquote AI component. And I don't understand why all these companies have to have an AI component outside of trying to raise money on Wall Street. I mean, I don't think of it as the huge selling point that maybe some people do. Not that I'm anti all AI or all that other stuff. I don't think of it as the big deal that some do, but maybe I'm missing something.
You need a use case. I'll give you the best use case for it. You have something goes wrong with your car and a little light pops up and you go to Google it and you're like, well, what the hell is that? And you don't know. And you take it to the guy. Imagine having like the owner's manual, which is like the size of an encyclopedia, digitizing it. AI is no different. It's just a super search engine. I got yelled at for saying that at an event. I don't care. I'm going to ride that one into the ground. It's a super search engine. Digitize the book, right? The manual. And now you're like, hey, my car, my car is doing this. And it says, well, it could be one of these three things. And it kind of runs you through. It's like your chatbot assistant. Or, if you look at like what Google's doing with the maps, like all of it, it's a little bit of AI in there where they're like just enhancing your experience, digitizing maybe what was once written, giving you pointers, ideas like, hey, like maybe it's, if you go, I'm just giving like ideas, like tips, like, yeah, you haven't been to this place in a while. Or if the possibilities are kind of limitless with like, hey, en route, like, you got 50 miles left in gas. Maybe there's 3 gas stations at the next exit if you're on the highway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see that as a feature.
But that's all driven by some form of machine learning / AI.
Right.
And if you can help me enhance my experience, we talked about that with one of the big 3 cloud providers with one of the big tire manufacturers, figure out which one's which. And they said you go to a car dealership today and they say the guy comes back and says, your brakes are 15%. You want to get rid of them or you want new ones or you want to wait? And you're like, wait, I don't know. Right? Oh, your tires.
You don't know anything about
You don't
brakes.
know. Your coupler on your axle is kind of shot. You might need to replace it. You're like, I don't even know what that is. Go ahead. So now what they're doing is they're introducing technology where they're looking at brakes, taking a picture of the brake, and they're baselining it with a million other brakes. Right? It's machine learning.
And you could also probably use machine vision for that, right? Because I was recently at the Automate conference down at
well, that's what
Huntington
it does.
Place.
It
And I feel like you could take machine vision so the machine can see how thick it is, where the wear points are,
Then they're gonna say,
and then compare that.
Yeah, you drive 30,000 miles a year. Based on your driving, your brakes are going to be gone in June. Do you want to replace them now, or do you want to schedule a meeting for or schedule a consult for May 14th or 2 weeks before? But then that gives you an educated consumer instead of the old way. Well, did you replace my oil? Like, I don't know. Like, you really put a lot of faith in the people that work on your cars, and you don't really. When you go to the dealer and you come out 3 hours later, and you're like, they check a lot of boxes on that thing, and you don't see anything. Again, you trust them,
right? I mean, I've been places where they just like, they left like a bottle of oil in the engine compartment and like didn't screw the cap back on, and you're driving down the road. It's like, what the hell is happening?
They stripped out my oil thing so that I'm on the driveway and I lost like a quart and a half on the in the street. And I'm like, but again though, like it's an uneducated customer. So if you can if there's certain things with AI that you can do to enhance my experience, not only as a car owner, but like as a traveler, you got my attention.
Well, I'm far more interested in those uses of AI than like rewriting poetry. You know what I mean? I feel like so much of the conversation of AI started with the like most beautiful and like
goofy
pictures,
pictures.
the things that we want to like, the things that we just taking away the jobs we want instead of working on the jobs that like making our lives better. That's
the thing. It kind of took ask ChatGPT stuff, and that's not what we're kind of I'm on the IT side of AI, and like it's those use cases, the stuff that we're like building a digital twin in a shop floor so we can sit there in an office and go, if we move that there, it will cause this. And supply chain, like logistics companies going, if you pick up that there, right, you'll save $10,000 over the course of 3 months. You know what I mean? It's those things that are like, doing predictive analytics, doing things like that's the real stuff.
I saw some really interesting stuff with like companion robots where the robot works with you. It actually has sensors even, so like it won't hurt you. You just work with the robot to do different tasks
until it murders you in your sleep.
Right. That's eventually going to happen. We're all going to be subservient to our robot overlords at some point.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, I try to explain it to my daughter. Hates AI because she's an artist. So like that, of course I'm like, it's enhancing. It's not. And she goes, nah, I don't want to hear it. It's all crap. And I'm like, all right, let's talk. And then I basically look at it as, think of it as your R2D2. Like Luke didn't do anything, not Luke.
Right. If you ask AI just to do all the creation for you, it reminds me of back in the day. Remember when like desktop publishing was a thing and everybody did it, with like, and then just mountains of crap got produced. There's way too many people who don't use AI as like a sidekick. They try to use it as like the main thing. And it's so transparently bad because the input is uncreative, so the output is uncreative. If you're using it as a thought partner for writing or something, don't have it write for you.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, can you check this for, this is a very nerdy example as a writer, but can you check for Associated Press style? Right? Those are the kind of things where you can use it as a thought partner as opposed to write this essay for me or summarize this whole thing for me so I don't actually have to watch the video.
Can you provide an outline? Because like I'm brain farting and I need help getting started on this thing. And you're like, as like a jump starter, as a kick, if you're for writing, like don't have it right. Because like hallucinations are going to be forever a thing because people are going to manipulate the LLMs wherever they sit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see a lot of it in those use. There's 10,000 more use cases I didn't even hit on. But if they do it properly, and I think a lot of it goes into the infotainment too, like, and it's the old Amazon thing, like, oh, since you bought this, like marketers are going to get a hold of it. And I don't hate it as long as it's done properly, but like, since you bought that, you might like this. And you're like,
well, one thing I'm terrible at is spreadsheets. And what I find it can be useful on is if I've got a spreadsheet with, 5,000 entries, I'm looking for this in this pattern, or I'm looking for, can you identify some patterns among these 400 respondents? Mm-hmm. And then I can double check it. And I also go ahead and set the temperature to say, don't go outside of this. Mm-hmm. Only look at this document. Don't go making up stuff. Because you can tell it, don't go chasing waterfalls.
And that's the key to this thing is the prompt. We have prompt libraries at I almost said libraries, Randy.
I heard it.
He's going to murder me. They have prompt libraries at work where like they're long, they're extensively written. They're like, 300 words, 400 words. Like if you want good detail, you need to tell it what to, pretend I am a this is what I want. Here's my parameters, right? Like I think people write loose and then they're mad that the content sucks. Well, you wrote a crappy prompt.
Right. And you can even, I think you can set some like ground rules too.
You do anything
in some of them. Yeah, like I don't remember all the details.
Pretend I'm a CIO. I want to do XYZ. Don't do that. Don't, I need it to look like this. Like tell it if you want the output to be something, you tell it, you know what I mean? Don't expect it to be everything to everyone.
Microsoft, Google, they all have different guidelines for how to write the best prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny though, like universities, it's torn. Like at Wayne State, like there's some classes like do not use AI. So help me God. There's other classes that say, if you do choose to write in AI, I want the prompt to be the first paragraph.
I think that's fair.
Right. Because you're going to use it because here's the thing, you're going to use it in the workplace. Everybody's like, AI's cheating. I'm like, is the calculator cheating? Like where this is where we're at.
So where I have the issue is when people do things like they stop reading books or they stop watching movies because they're just getting a summary of it. And that's where you're not getting the experience, especially with people who are younger. Your brain is still developing. And part of the exercise of doing these things is like stretching your brain out to think bigger. And if you always go for the summary or you always go for the shortest thing possible, like your own interpretation matters, not just the interpretation of other people. Like your interpretation and your ability to take and process content matters to me.
I'll give you an example. My public sector team, you guys are awesome. They spent an entire weekend, an entire team, I think of like 12 people, writing I want to say it was 900 pages for the state of Michigan for a IT transformation project. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, tell me you ingested it using AI. And they said, oh, we absolutely. So that's what when you have things like that, you almost need AI just to
I'm
understand.
Talking more about reading like,
Art of War.
Or
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like more creative works is
but
what
it's,
I'm talking about.
Okay, so like business works, it's very like, think about this. How many times did you see something on like CNN where they're like this 1,500 page bill omnibus?
So that's where
like,
it can be.
Who the hell's reading that?
Okay, but that can be really useful from a reporting context, right? So if you're doing a bill, or if you've got if you're looking for certain, not just keywords, but phrases and things, but the key is you have to understand what that document is in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's my worry, is that sometimes if you're not understanding what the document is and what it can do in the first place, then it's not as good of a sidekick, right? That's where I know it's a very like fuzzy line, but for me, that's where it's like, because I remember the corporate days where I would make like presentations for sales.
Yeah.
And the rule was it had to thunk on the desk because nobody read the damn thing.
No.
But people loved the meeting where it was like boom, and there were graphs and charts. And it was so frustrating because I would spend 2 weeks building this thing knowing nobody's reading this thing.
Yeah.
But
think about legalese though. Like, I'm not reading. If you give me a book and tell me I need to read legalese, I'm out after the first sentence. I don't know what this is, Greek. And if you can take that and speak English to dumb me, like I might be able to digest some of this information that's being thrown at me. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but then the other line is when somebody does a legal brief and they don't do it right.
Yeah.
Right. Or they're just messy about it. That's when consequences could go wrong. So it's like having awareness of where to use it. And my fear is that like my experience with humans is that contextual awareness isn't always consistent.
That's fair. I saw an ad on the gram and it was a guy basically saying, this thing will take my voice and I can create content in long form, like podcasting. And Mike, I had to comment because I'm that guy. And I said, why don't you just talk? And I'm thinking about this going, what? Because I know like at Microsoft, I saw a demo at AI Day. I forget what it was called, the AI thing. But the guy speaks 4 languages. He was the perfect guy for this demo. And what he did is he created training videos in like 32 languages. And it was him saying, hello, my name is Joe. Right. And then, but he did it in like Italian. He would go like, I don't speak Italian, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hello, ich bin Bob, like German. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he actually spoke it. So I'm like, here's the AI, here's me. And everybody's like, oh, it sounds very similar. So he goes, here's my video. And now I can say, I want this in 30 languages, get it out. And then now it's in French, now it's in German, now it's in Italian, now it's in, and Spanish. And that, to me, that was, there's certain applications where I think that's fascinating.
Oh, for sure.
For me and you though, to say, I'm going to do Daily Detroit tomorrow and I'm going to train AI in my voice and I'm going to type out my stories and I'm just going to hit send and it's going to make a podcast. To me, that's straight ass. Like, just talk. Like, I want to hear that laugh. I want to hear Randy smirking. Like, you know what I mean? Smirking, chuckling, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
He does chortle?
Chortle. Yeah. That, right.
There you go. I think that's a chortle.
Yeah. We got to clip that for a drop on the
He's
soundboard.
a Pokemon, the chortle.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. There's a human element to it that I hope that people won't forget.
Well, it goes back to that friction, right? It's that idea of I go out to the store because I want to go see the thing. I want to go try the dumplings. I don't want the dumplings to come to me. I want to see the experience. I want to see people buzzing around here at the Detroit.
The guy behind the counter with the eyes going, I made these with my bare hands. It's my grandma's recipe. Like, think about so if you just want sustenance and you go get McDonald's, like that's fine. But like getting to takeout, like again, these are different times. These are different days. Like, go to the cheap Chinese place. I'm, like I want to, there's more to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And same thing with cooking. Like I do the same thing, going to the grocery store, getting good ingredients, all that kind of stuff, which I know Engineer Randy does.
Yeah.
We still need to make that Werner's ham.
Oh, right.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So found this old recipe and we're talking about it on our Discord for Daily Detroit because we got a Discord chat. And people want us to start doing more recipes. And I think the Werner's ham, you and I'm going to have a new kitchen soon, like with room. I don't know how big your kitchen is, but I'm going to have a kitchen with room.
It's a kitchen, but it's kind of tiny.
All right. Then we're going to do it at my place. And we need to do. So Werner's ham, what other recipe should we do? Because I know you love food too. Like maybe with a local twist or something.
I got nothing. I just saw a recipe for it. So I like chicken Milanese. If you've never had it, I'm a schnitzel guy. Okay. And I made it Milanese style, which is it's kind of dipped in sour cream and then you put the breading on it.
Somebody needs to clip. I'm a schnitzel guy too.
It was schnitzel, but it's mayonnaise as the binder. And I never thought of it. and they said it's called cracked chicken, and it was basically with all the garlic powders and all the spices. I use vegeta, by the way, which is like an Eastern European thing. I think it's like a turnip spice, little salty, but it's not too salty.
For the longest time, the Hellman's mayonnaise jar had a recipe where you just smear mayonnaise on a chicken breast and then dip it in breadcrumbs.
Too afraid of that. Think about that. That sounds horrible. The day, here's the thing. The day I saw with that hand blender on the infomercial how mayonnaise was made,
Yeah.
I've really not gone near it since. Did you ever see how it's made?
It's just eggs and oil.
Yeah, but it's like
Whipped
no.
together.
But it's like 90% vegetable oil in like a pickle jar. Imagine that, and then like 4 eggs at the bottom. Ugh.
No matter who you are, after you lived in Detroit as long as I have, which is 25 years as an adult and half my childhood, you end up having just an aversion to mayonnaise built into you. It's within the
Is
space.
that what that is?
Yeah, we don't do mayonnaise here.
I'm not I like a little dab on a burger. I'm not going to lie.
Well, okay, so what you could do is make an aioli where there's like a little bit of a sauce situation, and that kicks it up a notch,
So I
as
did
opposed
that-
to just doing the that noise too when you like get the spoon in there, like
Jerry, you're too fancy. Aioli is like is mustard and mayo, and you stir it, and then you call it aioli. Like, get out of your Food Network. You ruined everybody.
Technically.
Shut up, Randy. No, so like my when I made my brat burgers, it was equal parts mustard, mayo, and then I would put in like a spoon of horseradish.
So my partner for a time worked at Bastogne, and her job was
That was a great place.
yeah, it was really good wine bar. And I remember one time I went down to the bar downstairs.
Yeah.
And had the dance.
We had
music.
an event there. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody one time offered. This is just when Detroit Hustles Harder came out.
Okay.
And somebody literally offered to buy the shirt off my back and trade me
Wow.
for my Detroit Hustles Harder shirt. I'll never forget that.
Shirt for shirt.
Shirt for shirt. But with money, I should have done it. Anyway,
Eh.
she told me that there was like 8 or 11 different aiolis. Like her job at the end of every night was to like deal with the bottles and everything. And it just the whole story.
Oh
Like,
God.
was just like, oh God, so many of them.
Why don't you like custom? So like, did you see the ketchup machine from Heinz that's coming out?
No.
So my day job is writing the software for it. It's basically, when you go to Five Guys and it's the Coke machine and you get custom Coke, like you can make whatever you want. It's custom, it's an aioli, but it's like, if you want ketchup, Tabasco, mayo, like you can make it. Like there's like 3,000 combinations. There's a YouTube video out there. There's probably an Instagram video. And just look up.
Don't tell me it's going to be tomato, like AI.
It probably will be.
Tomato.
But it's like the thing, like it's kind of a weird, like who's asking for this concept type of thing.
Okay.
But it's like it spits this thing out, and you're like, oh, cool! I can make a custom aioli. It's a sauce machine.
I love the idea of a sauce machine.
I'm still angry that the mashed potato machine never materialized in the U.S. I was on a crusade. Oh, it was a topic on this show in the early days. Like I'm talking episodes 1 through 40. I saw
That whole period of my life is blurry.
It is very
I'll
blurry.
have to go back and
It is
listen.
very. Don't listen to episode 69. That's a thing. It was a 7-Elevens in Asia, Japan most likely. It was a mashed potato machine, and so they had a Fiexens bar to the right, and then you'd spit out the hot mashed potatoes, which is basically potato flakes and hot water, and then you put all the Fiexens on it to the right, and then you take it to the counter and you $3.50. I'm like, I need a mashed potato machine in the studio. Like we were fixated on it. And you could buy one from like AliExpress, and I was too afraid to at the time. And I think I need to revisit that.
I feel like you could add this to the shipping company.
I think so too.
I think there should be an automat stall. You remember the auto, like
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there should be an automat stall here with like the potato machine. You need to bring that sauce machine.
I wanted to open Das Pretzel in here, and he wants like chefs with like unique food, and so that was kind of out. I'm like, that's fine, that's fair. I'll take it. I'll find somewhere else. I'll open Das Pretzel. It was kind of like street
There's a bunch
food.
of spots opening up over there in the old Chung's. They got that going. They got that going.
Oh, the Red Roof.
Yeah, the Red Roof. That's that's a very important place in Detroit restaurant history.
Oh yeah.
So I'm so glad to see it like popping up, and I guess we're going to be getting a ton of improvements on Peterborough Street here. Like there's word.
I took the survey.
You took the survey. Did you vote for the arch?
I voted for traditional arch, but modern decorations elsewhere.
Same. I like the like they're going to be doing a whole streetscape thing here,
Okay.
and then doing like the they're talking about doing a Chinatown style arch and some modern decorations. Really kick it up a notch around here.
This place, when there's a couple events going on, is bananas. Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
We came here. The ministry played a couple Saturdays ago, so we stopped here to get food before the concert. Couldn't get in. Couldn't park anywhere. There's cars lined up all the way down the block.
And you're even like a VIP because you're a tenant.
I don't say anything to anybody. There's a wedding on this side. Like, and they're like, we got in here and they're all giving us dirty looks. I'm like, I'm eating in here because there's nowhere to eat. Like, I'm lucky I even got food in here. It's crazy. And then other days where there's not an event, like the crickets.
That's kind of common around here.
It's very common around here. Like I remember like when me and Bo, we went to Chop and then we went to Campers, which I didn't know if it was Call of Duty thing because it's like on the roof of the book tower. So like roof camper. Fantastic.
No, it's the architect, Lewis Camper.
It's Call of Duty for me. But it's fantastic. If you've never been there, the view, it's a unique view of the city you don't normally see.
It's a good one.
It's a
really good
place. Was fantastic. It was a little cold. It was we went on our birthday in May, early May, and
it's really best when it's sunny out.
Yeah. Well, we did Monarch one year and we did it too early and the sun beat down. Like I wanted this like right when the dusk was. That's my favorite time here is right when it's dusk and the sun's below the roof here. And like to me, it's my favorite time of the day, no matter what. I remember driving my old Cadillac convertible right when the sun was like going to us because it's my favorite part of the day. Anyway, that was a great. We tried to go to like new places. It's almost impossible now to like go to all the places that
my list keeps growing and not shrinking.
It's almost too much. And then you like your old mainstays, or like, well, you want to go there,
yeah,
and you forget.
Well, I think it's important too. We've been doing some stuff with. Of course, we've always talked about food and drink on the podcast, doing some stuff on social media. But I was thinking about the other day. I've got an interview that's going to be airing next week with the owner of Sister Pie.
Okay,
and I'm like,
where are they?
They're Indian Village.
I just went to 3rd Street, and I was. That's not where Sister Pie. Who was?
You're thinking of the other pie place?
Detroit.
No,
it was hand pies or
Dangerously Delicious Pies.
Yeah.
Was that? I thought that was Sister Pie.
No, those are two different. The Dangerous Delicious Pies were like savory, like hand pies.
This was like
Sister Pie. Sister Pie is like a salted maple, like
pastry, sweet pastries.
Yeah,
they have a few savory
podcasts when they were part of the
Hatch stuff.
Hatch.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about Hatch because I remember that back in the day. But it's like, oh yeah, you know what? We need to remind people of these really great places because you get caught into that like thing. And you also, here's the other thing I've learned, much to my chagrin, there are people now that listen to my show and I'm sure listen to this show that like didn't exist 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Or like they were children when, they were in middle school or high school when these things opened. So there's actually a responsibility for those of us who've been around a minute to share these places that are still awesome, because otherwise they're not going to get the same shine and the same, the same visibility. Because something that's so obvious to someone who's been a townie for years isn't obvious to not just new people, but just you got to give people. I don't gatekeep around it because it's like everybody's new at some point,
Please don't be that guy. Like
I've gotten hell for not gatekeeping.
Oh,
you know that.
Too many rules in this town. I can't say podcast Detroit from Ferndale. You can't, too much geeky. Like we're the only town that does it. Let's knock it off. We're all friends. We're all friends. But there's like places you forget. They're like, oh my God, I haven't been there in forever. Like I still haven't been to Grandma Bob's or
what?
Shut up.
Bob has not been to Grandma.
I have not.
Randy, we got to take him to Grandma Bob's.
I haven't been to Michigan and Trumbull either.
Good place.
Mark has.
Really good.
So yeah. But like
grab Michigan and Trumbull on the way home.
I've had moods. I've been to the new Post Bar. I had to go because those are my old people. I still have the playlist on Spotify from 96 to 01 East Side Post Bar. When I was
Is that on Spotify?
Yeah. It's on
I gotta find it.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, send it to me, please.
The most hippie hoppiest song is Will Smith Miami.
Wow.
It was the scene back in the day. So like a lot of people don't realize how like Mac Ave between Alter and Cadieux, how hot that scene was when you had Tom's Oyster Bar and Marge's and you had the Village Idiot Pub, and you had the Post, and you had so there was like 8 bars.
Remember the old bartender at Tom's? I think he was in Grosse Pointe, and he also did downtown. I just wanted to mention, actually, I learned he passed on recently.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I was, I've been Facebook friends, and I went to high school with his daughter, but yeah, he passed on. So I just wanted to mention that. He was like, I think only in his 60s or something.
Speaking of which, Norm from Cheers passed away today.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, in my world, like 2 hit hard. Like Norm was kind of God tier. And then the wrestler with local ties, Sabu Terry Brunk, he passed away as well. He was the nephew of the original Sheik.
I went to a wedding at the Sheik's house.
Did you really?
In Michigan.
Yeah,
It's a venue you can rent.
I've been there too.
And I think you, at some point, if you ever do like a big Bob Bash, come on, you got to do the old wrestler's house.
So on Vice, they have a show called Dark Side of the Ring. And they have one that's for the original Sheik. I didn't know his story. And like he was wrestling those Kobo shows at he was outdrawing the Pistons.
Wow.
He was making more money than God, like, but a lot of those guys, like when they see, it's almost like the rock star thing. Like there's no residuals in pro wrestling, right? You can't sell a record, unless you own a tape library, but that, still, but like he was like the Ric Flair of that era, where like he was buying the gold in the cars and the suits, and like if you called him and asked for, Ed, he would hang up, and you had to ask for Sheik. Like he was like lived that persona. And like he had like everything fell apart here, and he went to Japan and was like just ripping his forehead open for, because people love that shit. Anyway, based all in Detroit. It was fascinating. If you're on Vice, it just came out like last week. But I don't know, totally cool. I always love the local. My grandpa used to go back in the day. He couldn't even speak English. He used to go to Kobo and watch the Sheik and Bobo Brazil. So like, I was like the old Detroit stuff.
I remember going to a local wrestling match with you, and we ordered a ladder. That was amazing.
Was that
I don't remember where it was.
Imperial House or
I think it was Imperial House.
That
was great.
Those are fun.
That was great. Is there still that kind of local wrestling going on?
There's
nowadays?
like you have different kinds, like Rhino from ECW and WWE. He's down in Monroe. He runs a show called IWR. Packed house. They just had a big comic show, wrestling autographs, and packed house. You got little pockets of like guys that run shows. Like there's a new Baltimore thing. Like my buddy Jamie works like in the chiropractic or in the physical therapy thing with one of the guys. He's like, the guy from work that's shadowing me is main eventing. We got to go. I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Come to find out, is crazy. That's one of the best entertainment dollars. It's $15, $20, like, and you get to sit, you get to yell at people, and like,
much better than yelling at people online.
Right. But like it's not like a concert that you don't like. You're like, we've all been to a concert we didn't like. But there's shows all over the place. It's a lot of fun. And then like the Sanctuary has one in Hamtramck. They run, I think, every other month. Isn't
there one in Eastern Market or
no?
No. Okay.
Well, they do the May 5th show every year, like the Lucha show.
Okay.
On Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
Mayo. Speaking of Mayo, Randy walking in front of the camera that we're not going to use the video for.
Randy Walker is walking in front.
So I'm on a big kick now, and maybe you can help, or maybe we can curate. I need to. So I just finally went to Scotty Simpson's for the first time. I finally went. Don't shoot me for this. I'm
not shooting anybody for anything.
I'm in the church confessional, and I'm embarrassed of what I'm about to say. I've never been. I just went to Gonella's for the first time. Just went to Marcus Burger for the first time. I need, like, in Scotty Simpson's, I'll call it out. I thought it was as good as anything I had in Ireland when I went to Dublin for fish and chips. I'm not a fish and chips junkie. I'm a sandwich junkie. I'm a burger junkie. I'm not, but like I thought Scotty Simpson's was absolute 10 out of 10. Is there any of these places that I have yet to go to?
Well, I am so glad that, you're talking about the confessional, as I was recently at a new bar called Father Forgive Me. So I feel like it's very appropriate. It was very good. It's not an old classic, but it's going to become, I think it's going to be a very hot spot. It's beautiful. in a converted church that's now like an art space. And all. You're going to go there and you're going to be like, this is here. But anyway, as far as old time stuff, you've been to Dooley's, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm trying to think about the places off the rip.
Lots have been to by
Okay.
the bridge. I went there for the first time probably 9 months ago.
Okay. Do you want a new place that feels old?
Maybe.
You should check out Norm's Diner in Indian Village.
I have heard
West
the
Village.
stories.
West Village. Is it West Village? I thought
It's
Van
West.
Dyke was the line.
Nope. Parker.
Parker's the line?
And the alley after Parker is the border.
This is a very Detroit conversation. The difference of one short block.
You guys can both go to hell with this.
Anyway, go. It's like near Van Dyke and Jefferson.
I've seen all the things.
It is worth it. It is
yeah,
really,
so good.
really good.
Okay.
And it feels like it's good food. It's not like pretentious food, but it's good.
I do not want a $32 plate of porchetta pasta.
Oh, $5, smashed baked potato with
Let's
garlic
go.
spread.
Let's go.
That's there's a few things you could, do up, but like right there, that alone, that is just so good.
All right.
So good. I got turned on to it by a few neighbors. And yeah, I am definitely a convert.
There's a place across from Gonella's I need to go to, the Italian.
Oh yes.
The Italian place.
Giovanni's.
So when I went to Gonella's, there must have been like 40 Cadillacs outside, and it was like 11:30.
Okay.
And then I looked into it. I said, apparently the lasagna, like a few things there's like banger. So I need to go there.
It is banger. And here's the thing. When I work corporate, they are very good at doing like meetings. So if you wanted to meet a bunch of people in the middle of somewhere no one would ever expect,
Yeah.
and like have really great food, like drag your people out and do it on the company card, and you'll have a great time. They're very good at that kind of stuff. They got private rooms, all of it.
Because like the first wedding I ever DJ'd was at Mario's. So I've eaten at Mario's. We used to,
Unpopular opinion, I think Mario's is overrated.
That's fair. It's fair. I haven't eaten there in years. Z's place, we used to go there when I went to Wayne State in the mid 90s. I love the gumbo there. That place is underrated. Looks like an old house.
It's not for everybody, depending on what kind of barbecue you like. But there's a place in the north end called Parks Barbecue. It's been there a million years. The barbecue, they actually have their barbecue apparatus is literally built in the building, so they cannot move. It is literally part of the building, and it's such old school. But, I know people are very particular about their styles of barbecue. So as I say, your mileage might vary, but it is an old institution you might want to check out. Take a look and see if like you like that style of barbecue, because everybody's a little different, right? Like I've learned there is no universal rule with barbecue.
There's none. I took people from Texas to Slows, and I got yelled at. They're like, "Why would you do that?" And I go, "Because I wanted them to taste Detroit barbecue." And they loved it. They didn't say it was the best they've ever had, because I wouldn't expect them to.
Okay, so Slows is better on their sides, and I think their Yardbird sandwich, in my opinion.
The Yardbird was, that was one of the. I
That's-
thought all their stuff I thought was good. Like I'm not going to order. Here's the thing: if I can, pulled pork is easy to me. Good brisket is really hard to make. I don't care who says they make the best brisket.
Oh, for sure.
Really hard. If you could make a good brisket, I'm your buddy. Like Woodpile to me is some of the best. I've had like Bad Brad's, chicken. You make chicken wings, spicy sausage, and a good brisket. I'm your buddy for the rest of your life. Like just eat. I'm an easy guy. Like I don't want to put the sauce on it either. Your meat's got to stand on its own. I'm hard. Like
I agree. If
I
you
want no
oversauce it,
sauce.
you're hiding something.
I don't want any sauce on it.
Okay,
Really
no sauce. Do you like the dry rub?
Absolutely. Light. I want the meat to stick. I'll put a little bit on like maybe one piece, like a dab.
Do you ever take a gander when you're driving through the city?
I never gandered in my life, friend.
Like just.
I'm just saying.
Do you ever try like when you smell really good barbecue and there's just a tent and it's going to be like $8 cash?
I want to stop all day.
I
don't.
often stop,
And
and
I
I've had
don't.
some amazing memories. I don't post about them because
There's a turkey leg place on like 6th and Woodward. I always want to stop it, and I never do.
isn't that a little bit south of that? I
Maybe
think that's in the
maybe
north
it's below.
end.
Maybe it's below 6
Yeah,
Mile.
yeah, the Turkey Grill.
Yeah.
It's been
I
there
always-
for a million years.
I need to go to the ham place across from
Mike's Ham Shop.
Yes.
Yep.
I need across from High Grade.
Yep, because you've been to High Grade.
I've been hot.
I
Yeah.
figured.
Many times. I need to go to Mike's Ham. The name was always weird. Then I saw what they serve and I go, oh my God, that looks delicious.
You know, I saw some rumblings on social media. I can't confirm anything, but I saw rumblings on the social media of Cass Cafe. Might come back.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, that was been around for a long time there. It used to be a really good staple, and then it obviously didn't make it.
You know what? I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to go with the most underrated sandwich in this town. And you're going to say I'm a crackhead. Go get a fresh loaf of bread from Pick Your Bakery. I prefer like going to Star Deli and getting the Jewish rye.
Okay.
And then going to get a quarter honey baked ham and just a little bit of mustard and like 5 pieces of honey baked ham. And that's it. and argue with me all you want. Like, to me, that hands down, just that alone is one of the, you know who's killing it right now? You need to make a trip out to the east side. Gigi's on 18 in Garfield in the Clinton townships. Absolutely putting out 10 out of 10, taking Ventimiglia's for a ride on their sandwiches. They're doing cutlet sandwiches. They're doing mortadella sandwiches. They're making like to-go lasagna. They're kind of, as they grow, like they're adding a couple things every time you go. They have I'm not going to say it right. Muffaletta. I don't say it right. Muffaletta in the counter, and like a Sicilian pizza, like a red sauce on the counter. Everything that is one of the better it's not going to touch Ventimiglia's. You're
going east side. I want to give you a west side recommendation.
Okay.
The Cordial Shop on Telegraph in Taylor.
Oh my God. How am I going to get to Taylor? The Cordial Shop?
It's on Telegraph. That's how you're going to get there. You drive cars.
Yeah.
I mean, people yell at me, but yeah, like it's down in Taylor. There is a sandwich. It's called the Suicide Killer. And it is so good. So very good.
All right, I'm right.
And it's got like the almost Cajun turkey.
Okay.
And like the really good like spicy cheese, and then they fresh bake the bread. It's like the pocket, like the calzone style almost.
Is that the thing I keep seeing?
It's so damn
Wait,
good.
what's the one where it's got like the bread pocket? God bless. Do you know, Randy?
No.
I keep seeing it's like a cheese bread pocket, and they put the sandwich in it.
I don't know if this is,
and it's in like a liquor store, like it's in like a market. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I gotta find it because I'm gonna go tomorrow.
So the Cordial Shop, off of Telegraph, it is literally a liquor store with actually great selection. But if you're ever down that way, it is really, really good. Get the Suicide Killer. The other things are really good. They bake the bread like right there. Like they put it in the oven fresh. Okay. And you will not spend a lot of money and end up very happy. You often don't even need to call ahead, though I would call ahead. Okay. As I've been yelled at before, don't ever do the DoorDash because it's a higher price. You want to save the money, you call the guy, and then you just show up. Just call him while you're on your way there. Like if you're coming from here, it's not that far, maybe 20 minutes from here. You know, because that's the thing about Metro Detroit. People have got to understand. I say this to people who move here because I talk to a lot of new residents.
Everything's
Detroit,
a half an hour.
Yeah, everything's 20 minutes to a half an hour, and everybody drives to everything. And that's the biggest culture shift for people who come here from like Chicago or out west or whatever. They're so used to 5 minutes. The reality is that if you're a destination, if you're a really good spot, you can be located damn near anywhere, and people will come to you if they know the story that you're worth it to go
Look
to.
at Mabel Gray.
Yeah.
You know, they put Hazel Park back on the map. Who was going to Hazel Park for food?
Well, now a lot of people.
That's a lot of
people are, right? There's now the new Cascara coffee shop there. High end, excellent stuff. A guy from Toronto opened it up. I covered it on the show. You talk about places you want to open that are ridiculous. You know what I want to open that's ridiculous? I want to open up a barbecue joint, and I want to call it Hazel Pork.
Yeah, why not?
Right there on the strip there with all the things, and you could visit your new you could visit your new yacht club bar, and then go to Hazel Pork. We could do a pop up,
and you got to have a big pig on the roof.
So, there got to be a big pig
named Hazel.
Oh my gosh, we've got to go to that pig place. I was over on Fort Street, and there was a giant pig the size of us on the roof, and every time I see that, I have to go.
Winter Sausage in East Point, they have the bull. I remember that as a young lad because my grandparents were in St. Clair Shores, so we used to always drive by it.
I don't know if he still owns it or not, but I believe the guy who owns the roasting plant, and he ran for Senate, he's an actor, Hill Harper, also owns the ice cream building with the bull on Mack Avenue.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like because you were on the east side. It's been there forever. It's a cow that's on an ice cream shop like building between the plant and Grosse Pointe.
No.
But like that needs to come back as something. I love buildings with decoration.
Oh, yeah.
Giant cups, all that stuff. Like Atomic in Royal Oak.
Gus's Chicken.
Gus's Chicken. Right. Let's have some, like, I love the big boys back in the day.
Where is the graveyard?
Oh, gosh.
Because I just saw it. It looks creepy as sin, and I'd love to go visit it.
Oh, that would be a fun video to do.
Right? Like, I'll have to Google it when we leave the show.
I feel like I'd have to go as dressed up as the big boy, or like bring a big boy outfit.
If you wear overalls, I will pay for the trip.
All right. Yeah, I'm in. I will do it. Any color. It's fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's get you out of here. Jared, Daily Detroit. I'm super proud of what you built, man, because I remember the days when you were still buying the domain, and to see what you're doing now, it's super cool. Hats off to the effort and you kind of poured your life into it, and it shows. So when I say the eyes, like you got the it's apparent, this town and your company and all that is,
This town is home, and I love talking about it. And I gotta say, it feels really good. We each have our own studios now, which I guess is a sign of growth. But it feels so good to be back home in these confines here at the Detroit Shipping Company. I'm so proud that you're like in it and doing it, because people need to be heard, and I think it's awesome that what y'all are doing.
We're gonna either do Bob's Burgers, or we're gonna do my ultimate dive bar list, and we got the checklist, and it's gonna be good. So if you want to in on it, I would love to do it with you. If otherwise, I gotta start. That would be fun. We're going to these places anyway. Why not make fun stuff out of it?
For sure. And I guess on my Instagram, people want to, not to overly promote it, but Daily Detroit on Instagram, you follow our travails.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, our travels. So
I do. Well, yeah, find Jared, Daily Detroit, anywhere fine podcasts are sold, or videos are sold, or YouTubes, or all the places. Just look up Daily Detroit, and or you can see them around town. Jer Staes, appreciate the time, and always great to have you back.
Good to see you.
We're going to wrap things up for this episode of the IT and the D Show. On behalf of Bob and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.